The future of the Houston Texans is hanging in the balance right now as the front office faces a massive decision regarding their star quarterback. We all remember the lean years before he arrived, and nobody wants to go back to that uncertainty. Every fan in Houston feels the weight of this contract situation because it will define our championship window for the next decade. This is not just about numbers on a page. It is about keeping the heartbeat of our offense in a Texans uniform forever. CJ Stroud is at a crossroads that will determine the financial future of this franchise for years to come. General manager Nick Caserio already picked up the fifth-year option, which keeps our signal caller locked in through 2027 at a price of nearly $26 million. However, the real drama starts after that. There are 4 very different paths the team can take, and each one carries a different level of risk. First, they could try to sign an extension right now. This would be the cheapest option for the team, potentially saving millions before the market explodes even further. But reports suggest his camp isn't interested in taking a deal that ranks him as the 8th or 12th highest paid player. He knows his worth, and he expects to be at the very top. The second path is waiting until 2027. This allows the team to see another year of growth, ensuring he is truly the guy who can lead us to a Super Bowl. The downside is that by then, the price will likely jump over $50 million per year. The third option is even more stressful, involving the franchise tag in 2028. This is the route teams take when they cannot reach a long-term agreement, and it often leads to frustration and locker room tension. Nobody wants to see our star unhappy or feeling undervalued. Finally, there is the path we all fear, moving on entirely if things do not go as planned over the next 2 seasons. If his performance dips or he does not show those elite traits we saw early on, the front office might have to look elsewhere. Caserio has been proactive with other players, so seeing this drag out would be very unusual for his management style. We are looking at a situation where every single pass and every single win this season adds another $1 million to the eventual price tag. It is a high-stakes game of poker between the player and the organization, and the entire city is watching to see who blinks first in these massive negotiations. The way this young quarterback commands the huddle is something we have not seen in Houston for a very long time. He has that rare ability to make everyone around him better, which is exactly why the price for his services is climbing so fast. When you have a player with his specific play style, someone who can sit in the pocket and dissect a defense, you have to be willing to pay the premium. However, the front office has to balance that with the need to build a complete roster around him. If we spend too much on one position, it becomes much harder to keep the star wide receivers and the dominant defensive line that makes us a threat in the AFC. The conversation in the building right now is all about timing. If the team waits too long, they risk the market being reset by other players around the league. Every time another quarterback signs a record-breaking deal, the floor for our guy goes up. We saw him finish last season with some questions, and that is why this upcoming year is so critical. He needs to show that he can maintain that elite level of play even when the pressure is at its highest. If he leads us deep into the playoffs again, any leverage the team had to save money will vanish instantly. On the other hand, if there is any regression, the team might feel more comfortable waiting. But waiting creates its own kind of tension in the locker room. Players notice when the leader of the team is not signed long-term. It can create a sense of instability that trickles down to the rest of the roster. We want our players focused on winning games, not worrying about their bank accounts. The prospect of having a franchise legend under center is what every fan dreams of, but the business side of the NFL is cold and calculated. We have seen other teams struggle for decades because they did not handle this transition correctly, and the Texans simply cannot afford to make a mistake here with a talent this special. This decision is going to impact whether we are celebrating a championship at NRG Stadium or wondering what went wrong with our golden era. If the team finds a way to sign this extension early, they can use the savings to bring in more talent through free agency. That means better protection on the offensive line and more weapons to catch passes. In simple terms, getting this deal done sooner could help the team win more games over the next 5 years. If they wait and the price skyrockets, the front office will have to make some very painful cuts elsewhere on the roster. We might lose a Pro Bowl linebacker or a starting tackle just to fit the quarterback under the salary cap. That is the risk of the wait-and-see approach. It provides certainty that the player is worth the money, but it makes it much harder to support him with a championship-caliber squad. We have all seen teams that have a great quarterback but no defense, and they usually end up losing in the first round of the playoffs. We do not want that for our Texans. We want a team that is balanced and built to last. The consequence of failing to reach a deal could also lead to the franchise tag, which is often a disaster for team chemistry. It makes the player feel like the team does not truly believe in them, and that can lead to holdouts or trade requests. We have seen it happen across the league, and it ruins seasons before they even begin. The human side of this is that this young man has embraced the city of Houston, and the fans have embraced him. Losing that connection because of a contract dispute would be a heartbreak that this fan base might never recover from. We are at a point where the front office has to decide if they want to be safe or if they want to be bold. Being bold means paying him now and trusting the talent we have seen with our own eyes. Let us look at the two very different paths this could take over the next 12 months. In the best-case scenario, our quarterback has a massive season and leads us to the top of the division once again. The front office realizes they cannot wait any longer, and they sign him to a record-breaking deal that keeps him in Houston for the rest of his career. This provides total stability and allows the team to focus entirely on winning a Super Bowl. The city would be on fire with excitement, knowing our future is secure with an elite leader at the helm. But then there is the worst-case scenario that keeps us up at night. What if the negotiations turn sour and the player starts to feel like he is being disrespected by the offers? What if the performance on the field takes a step back and the team starts to have second thoughts about a long-term commitment? If that happens, we hit the panic button. The team might start looking at other options, and we would be right back in the quarterback carousel that haunted us for years. Finding a franchise passer is like finding a needle in a haystack, and we already found ours. To let him walk away or to let the relationship crumble over money would be a devastating blow to the franchise. The tension is real because both sides have so much to lose. The player wants to maximize his earnings while he is healthy and playing well, and the team wants to keep the roster competitive. It is a delicate balance that requires both sides to be reasonable. If one side gets too greedy or too stubborn, the whole thing could fall apart. We have seen dynasties built on players taking slightly less to help the team, but we have also seen teams destroyed by massive contracts that they could not afford. The stakes are higher than they have ever been in the history of the Houston Texans, and the next few months will tell us everything we need to know about the direction of this team. The bottom line is that the Houston Texans are holding a winning hand, but they have to play it perfectly to avoid a total disaster. We have a superstar quarterback who has changed the culture of this entire organization, and now it is time to make sure he stays here. Whether they pay him now or wait until next year, the goal remains the same: keep the window open for a championship. It is a stressful time to be a fan, but it is also an exciting one because it means we actually have a player worth this kind of investment. I want to know what you think about this high-stakes situation. Be honest with me, would you open the checkbook right now and make him the highest-paid player in the league, or would you wait one more year to be absolutely sure? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one of them. While you are there, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you never miss an update on our Texans. We are in this together, and I will be here to break down every move as it happens.